I'm Thad Brown, that's Carl Jones. We are getting you ready for Bills training camp, going position by position. Today we're talking about the Bills defensive tackles, and we're also going to play everybody's favorite game, yes, no, kinda. We'll start with the strength of this group, and I think depth is almost quite obviously the strength. You think about the top four guys here at defensive tackle for the Bills, they might have the best combo of one technique or nose tackles in the league with DaQuan Jones and Poona Ford. Both guys really good against the run, underrated against the pass. Ed Oliver just got his new contract. I know there's a lot of debate about what level of player he is. At worst, though, he's above average, can be dynamic, can be a game wrecker. And Jordan Phillips, to a lesser extent, is nearly the same guy. The problem with him, obviously, is he doesn't stay on the field as much. But with those four guys on a team where they rotate defensive linemen so frequently, it doesn't matter what the combo is. You throw any of those two on the field, and you're going to have a really upper-level plus combo of defensive tackles. So, Carl, can that strength be something the Bills can base or carry a season on? Yes, no, kinda.
I believe so, yes. Early on in the year when they were all healthy, I know Poona Ford is new to the bunch this year, but when Phillips, DaQuan Jones, and then Oliver for the ankles and all the shoulders started to come to be, I know people remember that Rams game and how devastating that defensive line was, and I know Von Miller had something to do about that as well. But early on in the year, the Bills' defensive line was no joke. Now, once again, the injuries started to affect things, and players just weren't consistent throughout the year. But when those guys are locked in, rotating, as you just alluded to, that's a unit that's dangerous and not many teams in the league want to see.
I think you're right. I'm not totally sure, and we're going to get to the reason why when we start talking about the weakness of this group. And again, some of these weaknesses, the Bills are a great team. Some of these weaknesses are a bit relative. But I think the weakness here is when it comes to elite pass rushing skills. As good as all these guys are, Oliver and Ford and Jones and Phillips, there probably isn't any one of them that are keeping opposing quarterbacks up at night. I mean, Phillips is a guy that can't stay on the field. DaQuan Jones, I thought, was one of the Bills' top 2 or 3 pass rushers. He had 2 sacks last year. Poona Ford is well known as a run over pass kind of guy, even though he can certainly affect the pass game. So with the Bills maybe not having that elite guy in the middle, not like a Quinnen Williams who recently signed a new contract extension with the Jets. Exactly. Jeff Simmons, another guy with the Titans. Missing that guy, can that potentially, or will it potentially submarine this Bills season? Yes, no, kinda.
Kind of, because we don't know, once again, Von Miller's, when he's coming back and what player he's going to be. Because without him, you want at least someone else anywhere on the defensive line to be that type of game wrecker. You would like it to be the guy behind us and Ed Oliver, but once again, he's been very inconsistent. So kind of. I believe without knowing where Von Miller is at the moment, with Von Miller, I don't think they really need to be like every single game in and out. But without him, we saw what that team looked at without Von Miller, and that was a drastically different defense, especially up front. So I'll give you kind of.
I think that makes a lot of sense. The X factor defensive tackle, Ed Oliver. And I think it's more not necessarily we don't know what we're going to get. We know what the floor is for Ed Oliver. The guy is going to make plays, like you said, not consistently, but he's going to make plays. But if you think about these 4 guys, as good as they already are, Ed Oliver is probably the only guy that's got another gear that he could theoretically go to, because we've seen the high-level production. It's not a matter of can he do it, it's a matter of can he do it week in and week out. How much does that X factor determine where this Bills season goes? Will Ed Oliver's season determine what the Bills season as a whole ends up as? Yes, no, kinda.
Yes, because if you have, we've talked about it ad nauseum, Von Miller is one guy, but if you can have another guy who can get you 10, 11, maybe even 12 sacks from that interior position. It's one thing when the guy is running the I forget the loop on the outside, but no quarterbacks like someone stepping up in the pocket, and that's the one guy in the defensive tackle room who can, I can see get into that double-digit mark. If he can do that, that's a player and a unit that I believe, rising tides raises all boats or something like that.
Yeah.
He's one that can believe and help out that unit. So I say yes. I think Ed Oliver has that capability.
How do you get from kinda on the weakness question when we're talking about the pass rushing skills?
Because I've seen him play like that for a couple games at a time.
Yeah.
Now, consistently the entire time, no, that's obviously it hasn't been like that. That was, he's been getting paid like Quinnen Williams. But I've seen it once, twice, maybe even 3 times. If he can do that at the right time come January or in a nice stretch where the Bills need him, once again, when Von Miller's not there, that's a player who can help this team out when they need him most.
Definitely a good group here. greatness, searching for it, I think is the big question about what we get from defensive tackles in Buffalo this season. All right, you are all set now at defensive tackle. For Carl M. Thad, thanks for watching. You can click on something else now here at RochesterFirst.com.